Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. Today let us go for the first module in biological classification. Viroids differ from viruses in having. See, viroids are found to be what? Free RNA molecules. But it lacks protein coat and they are found to be infectious agent smaller than the virus. Now let us move on to the options. DNA molecules without protein coat. This is wrong because they are RNA. And RNA molecules with protein coat is also wrong. But option C, RNA molecules without protein coat is the right option. Option D is wrong because again they have given DNA here. So the answer for the first question is the RNA molecules without protein coat. Let's move on to the second question. Which of the following statements is wrong for viroids? They cause infections. Yes, this is true. And their RNA is of high molecular weight they have given. But the RNA of viroid is of low molecular weight. So this is a wrong statement. They lack protein coat. Yes, this is true. And they are smaller than the virus. This is also true. But the only wrong statement is option B. Now, let us go for the third question. One of the major components of cell wall of most fungi is. See, they have given some options like cellulose, hemicellulose, chitin and peptidoglycan. Keep a note on it. Fungal cell wall contains chitin. It is a major component. Or we can also call it as fungal cellulose. Along with other polysaccharides, proteins, that is manoproteins, lipids and a number of other substances. Okay, here in this option the major component they have as, so the major component is chitin, option C. Let's go for the fourth question. Which one of the following is true for fungi? They lack a rigid cell wall, they are heterotrophs, they lack nuclear membrane and they are phagotrophs. See, the fungi are said to be heterotrophic organism because they derive nutrition from the other organisms. It may be a living organism or it may be a dead organism. If it is from a living organism, the nutrition is said to be parasitic. And if it is from a dead organism, and that kind of nutrition is said to be saprophytic. Now, let us move on to the option. They lack rigid cell wall. See, it is false because fungal cell wall is made up of chitin. Right? They are heterotrophs. Yes, they are different modes of nutrition. This is true. They lack nuclear membrane. This is again false because fungi are eukaryotes. And they are phagotrophs they have mentioned here. No, they are not phagotrophs. So the only true statement for fungi is option B. They are heterotrophs. Now let us move on to the fifth question. In the 5 kingdom classification, Chlamydomonas and Chlorella have been included in. See, in the 5 kingdom classification, Chlamydomonas and Chlorella have been included in the kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista includes what? The unicellular eukaryotes. Whereas kingdom Monera includes unicellular prokaryotes. Earlier, this Chlamydomonas and Chlorella were placed in a kingdom algae. But according to the R.H. Whittaker's classification, the classification depends not only on external features or morphology or not only on physiology but also on phylogeny. That means what? Evolutionary relationship. Here they have asked in 5-kingdom classification, Chlamydomonas and Chlorella have been included in a kingdom called Protista. So option A. Now let us move on to the 6th question. Tobacco mosaic virus is a tubular filament of size. See, this is a structure of what? TMV or the tobacco mosaic virus. These TMV particles are rod-like helical structures and the length is found to be 3000 angstrom or else 300 nanometer and the diameter is about 190 angstrom or 18 nanometer. Now let us look at the options. 300 into 10, 300 into 5, 300 into 20. See, approximately this option C is matching with 180 angstrom or 18 nanometer, right? So now let us go with the option C as a right one. And let me give you few more information about this TMV. It consists of nearly 2140 protein subunit and each with a molecular mass of 17,420. That is 158 residues which are arranged on a helix. Now let us move on to the 7th question. See, lichens are well-known combination of alga and fungus where fungus has. See, this combination of alga and fungus and their relationship is said to be a mutual relation. That means symbiotic association between the fungus and algae. Okay, and the property of this combined forms are there, no? So they are really very different from the properties of its components. The lichens, which may come in different colors, sizes and forms, but the properties are sometimes plant-like, but lichens are not plants. It's a symbiotic or the mutual relationship between the algae and fungi. It is not saprophytic, epiphytic or parasitic. It is symbiotic relationship. So option D is the right one. Now let us move on to the 8th question. Viruses that infect bacteria multiply and cause their lysis are called. Here they have given some option. See, the name itself it is indicating lysis. The term lysis means breaking. See, the lytic phase of bacteriophages or the viruses that infect bacteria includes multiplication of the viral particles followed by its degradation or else disruption of the host so that it can release the viron particles. Okay, so here the correct option is lytic. Now let us move on to the other options, lysozymes. Lysozymes means these are the hydrolytic enzymes that target peptide crosslinks in a peptidoglycan and that disrupt the cell wall's integrity. Next is lipolytic. Lipolytic means which acts on lipids. So it helps in breakdown of lipids. Next is lysogenic. Lysogeny means it is an inactive phase of a virus. Here it will not lyse the host. Okay, but it remains inactive. For this question, the viruses that infect bacteria multiply and cause their lysis are called lytic viruses. So option C. Now let us move on to the 9th question. Oxygenic photosynthesis occurs in. See, oxygenic photosynthesis means it is a process of non-cyclic photosynthetic electron transport chain. Here the initial electron donor is water, and here oxygen is released as a byproduct. And this kind of photosynthesis is found in cyanobacteria or else oscillatoria and in plants. Next, one more kind of photosynthesis is there, and that is anoxygenic photosynthesis. This can be found in purple bacteria, green sulfur such as Chlorobium, and non-sulfur bacteria. Here they have given oxygenic photosynthesis occurs in. Had given the example such as cyanobacteria in that Oscillatoria. So option A is the right one. Let us move on to the 10th question. Which of the following statements about mycoplasma is wrong? See, they have given some options like they are pleomorphic, that means it occurs in different forms. They are sensitive to penicillin. They cause diseases in plants. They are also called PPLO, that means pneumonia like organisms. See, mycoplasma is found to be a single-celled prokaryotic organisms, and these organisms lacks cell wall. Here the wrong statement is option B. They are sensitive to penicillin. Why? Because the antibiotic penicillin is there, no? So that antibiotic penicillin interferes with the process of cell wall synthesis. Here, in the process of cell wall synthesis, N-acetyl muramic acid, N-acetyl glucosamine and amino acid in a peptidoglycan are linked. This antibiotic penicillin interferes with this process, that is the process of linking of these molecules, this N-acetyl muramic acid, glucosamine. So all these molecules are there, no? So they interferes with the process of linking of these molecules in a cell wall. Since there is no cell wall in mycoplasma, because mycoplasma lacks what? Cell wall. So there is no effect of penicillin on this mycoplasma. So the wrong statement here is they are sensitive to penicillin. Option B. Now let us move on to the 11th question. The most abundant prokaryotes helpful to humans in making curd from milk and in the production of antibiotics are the ones categorized as. See, these kind of bacteria are said to be the heterotrophic bacteria. That means they require an organic carbon source for their growth. That means they derive the energy and carbon from organic compounds. There are some economically important uses of this heterotrophic bacteria. One is they enhance the fertility of the soil by fixing the atmospheric nitrogen. Next is in the production of curd, yogurt from the milk. Cheese, butter, wine, all these things are also produced from this heterotrophic bacteria. And the production of antibiotics, and they also form essential part of biogeochemical cycle. Here they have given about the microbes which are used in making curd and in the production of antibiotics are ones categorized as heterotrophic bacteria. So option D is the right one. Now let us move on to the 12th question. In 5 kingdom system, the main basis of classification is. See, they have given some options here such as structure of nucleus, mode of nutrition, structure of cell wall, asexual reproduction. But here they have asked the main basis. The Whittaker, R.H. Whittaker proposed 5 kingdom classifications such as Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. And the main criteria of this 5 kingdom classification were cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition and reproduction, and even phylogenetic or evolutionary relationship. In this, the main they have asked, the main is the mode of nutrition. So option B. It is the main basis for classification in Whittaker system. Now, let us move on to the 13th question. What is true for cyanobacteria? See, cyanobacteria means what? Blue-green algae. So, it is commonly known as blue-green algae. They are photosynthetic. Okay, and they are said to be prokaryotes, which prepare their own food. Okay, and you can find the cyanobacteria in association with certain fungi and even on green plants. Okay, and here, as I told, this prepare their own food. It is said to be an oxygenic, and there is one enzyme here called nitrogenase. Okay, they are said to be what? Oxygenic phototrophic bacteria. And nitrogenase, why? Because they fix what? Atmospheric nitrogen in the soil. Okay, so here they are said to be what? Oxygenic and with an enzyme called nitrogenase. See, this blue-green algae, they are the source of food to several aquatic animals, and the blue-green algae, spirulina, is cultivated for a source of protein. Okay, and it is said to be a high protein content. Here, oxygenic with nitrogenous is a true statement for cyanobacteria. Let's move on to the 14th question. African sleeping sickness is due to. See, the disease African sleeping sickness is caused by Trypanosoma gambiense, and it is transmitted by tsetse fly known as Glossina palpalis. Here they have given some option. In this, the right option is what? Option C. Yes. Now, let us move on to the 15th question. The protists have, and they have given some option. See, protists are considered to be an eukaryotic organisms, and they have well developed nucleus, and they also contain many cell organelles that are membrane bound. Membrane bound nucleoproteins are also present in this protist, and most of them are unicellular. That is why the protists are considered as unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Now, let us move on to the options. Only free nucleic acid aggregates. This is false. Membrane bound nucleoproteins which are lying embedded in the cytoplasm. Yes, they are membrane bound nucleoproteins, and where these nucleoproteins are present means in the cytoplasm. So option B is the right one. Okay, gene containing nucleoproteins condensed together, this is also false. Nucleoprotein in direct contact with rest of the substance, this is also false. They are eukaryotic. Well developed nucleus is present. So that is the reason option B is right. Now let us go to the 16th question. In which kingdom would you classify archaea and nitrogen fixing organisms if 5 kingdom system of classification is used? See, the kingdom Monera is divided into eubacteria or true bacteria and archaebacteria. Eubacteria includes heterotrophic and autotrophic bacteria. Again, autotrophic bacteria includes chemoautotrophs such as sulfur bacteria and photoautotrophs such as cyanobacteria. When it comes to archaebacteria, they are classified into halophils and they are found in salty areas. Thermoacidophils, they are found in hot springs. And methanogens, they are found in marshy areas. Now, let us move on to the question. They have asked you to classify archaea and nitrogen fixing organisms. They all belongs to a kingdom Monera. So, option D. Now, let us move on to the 17th question. Name the organisms which do not derive energy directly or indirectly from the sun. See, the organisms which do not derive energy directly or indirectly from the sun is said to be chemosynthetic bacteria, because this chemosynthetic bacteria do not need sunlight to grow, because they prepare their own food without the help of light. What they use? Inorganic molecules. These inorganic molecules are the source of energy and they convert these inorganic molecules into organic substances. And they obtain energy from the oxidation of organic substances. Here the right option is option A. Chemosynthetic bacteria are the organisms which do not derive energy directly or indirectly from the sun. Now, let us move on to the 18th question. A few organisms are known to grow and multiply at a temperature of 100 to 105 degrees centigrade, and they belong to. By looking at the question only, you can say that this is a high temperature, and in this temperature you can find thermophilic bacteria that belongs to what? Archaebacteria, right? So, thermophilic sulfur bacteria can survive high temperature between 41 to 122 degree, and the optimum growth temperature will be higher than 75 degree. Hot spring blue-green algae, okay, they have an optimum growth temperature of 45 degree. And methanogenic, that means methane producing archaebacterium, grows at an optimum temperature of 35 to 40 degree. And there are some marine archaebacteria and they are said to be extreme thermophils, and they grow at a temperature of 65 to 80 degree. And here 100 to 105 means they belongs to thermophilic sulfur bacteria. Let us move on to the 19th question. In eubacteria, a cellular component that resembles eukaryotic cell is. They have given some cellular components here such as plasma membrane, nucleus, ribosomes and cell wall. See, the common cellular component in prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes is plasma membrane. Okay, because they both are made up of phospholipid bilayer with proteins. Okay, and the cell wall of eubacteria is made up of peptidoglycan. While in some eukaryotes like fungi, the cell wall is made up of chitin and plant cell wall is made up of cellulose. So, here cell wall is not a correct option. Then next, when it comes to nucleus, the nucleus of eubacteria is not bounded by any membrane, and it is called nucleoid, while in eukaryotes it is bounded by double membrane. Next, coming to the ribosomes. Eubacterial ribosomes are 70S type, while eukaryotic ribosomes are 80S. And here the same component in eubacteria and eukaryotic cell is plasma membrane. So option A is the right one. Now let us move on to the 20th question. The cyanobacteria are also referred as. They are also called as what? BGA or blue-green algae. Why? Because one is their aquatic and second one is their photosynthetic. And they are said to be gram-positive, which perform oxygenic photosynthesis. And they are one of the most successful autotrophic organisms on the earth. Okay, and you can see them in all types of environments such as fresh water, sea water, salty areas, moist rocks, tree trunks, moist soils, hot springs, even in frozen waters. This blue-green algae may be unicellular, colonial, that means they occur in colonies, or it may be filamentous or tube-like. And the cells of this BGA are larger and more elaborate than bacteria. And there is a special kind of cell called heterocysts, which are useful for what? Nitrogen fixation. So these are about some information about the cyanobacteria, and it is commonly known as what? Blue-green algae. So option D is the right one. Now let us move on to the 21st question. Gram-negative cells stains pink because, see, it is all because of the peptidoglycan layer. Here, their peptidoglycan layer is thin and it does not retain crystal violet stain like gram-positive bacteria do. Hence, see here, this is a gram-positive and this is a gram-negative. You can have a look at this. See, this is a peptidoglycan, this yellow color. And here, see, peptidoglycan layer. When compared to gram-positive and gram-negative, the gram-negative stains pink. Because what? Because of the peptidoglycan layer. Their peptidoglycan layer is thin in case of gram-negative. But in case of gram-positive, it is what? Thick. So this is the reason. So option B is the right option for this question. Now let us move on to the 22nd question. An organism having cytoplasm, DNA and RNA but no cell wall is, see, cyanobacterium, they have cell wall, mycoplasma. Mycoplasma, it is a genus of bacteria, but they completely lack what? Cell wall. Their outermost layer is made up of plasma membrane enclosing cytoplasm, DNA and RNA. They don't have any definite shape because they don't have cell wall. Cyanobacteria and bacterium, here they both have cell wall. Viruses, they have protein coat instead of cell wall. But mycoplasma lacks this cell wall. So option B. Now let us move on to the 23rd question. Smallest virus is. See, they have given 4 options here. We find a wide variety of viruses. But the smallest viruses is the one which cause a disease called foot and mouth disease, also called as FMDV. It is due to an airborne virus and it is very highly communicable and transmitting up to many kilometers. But that virus is as small as 0.008 to 0.012 microns. So the smallest virus is what? Foot and mouth virus. So option A is the right option for this. Now let us move on to the 24th question. Yeast is an important source of, see, brewer's yeast. It is used as a source of B complex vitamins. Okay, hence I can say that it contains vitamin B1, B2, niacin or B3, B5, pantothenic acid, B6, B9 or H or B7, biotin. And these vitamins help in breaking down of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and they also provide the body with energy. And another importance of this vitamin is they also support the nervous system and they helps in maintaining the muscles which are used for digestion, and they keep skin, hair, eyes, mouth and liver healthy. So these are some of the importance of vitamin B in our body, and yeast is an important source of vitamin B. Now let us move on to the 25th question. In the given figure shows some structure labeled as 1, 2, 3 and 4. Which structures has a protein coat that encloses the nucleic acid they have given? See, these are 1. Head, collar, sheath and tail fibers. And the protein coat is found in where? Here. And this structure is nothing else but head. Head means it is option 1. So these are some of the MCQs on biological classification. Hope this helped you. Thank you.